Thank you guys for watching that break. We're almost ready to go. It's King's Young Station up first, and aLive versus Patience gonna be playing out. So this is a brand new best of 5. It's TvP. For those who don't know the format or style of our groups, we'll let you know that this is gonna have a losers match happen next, not a winners match as some other tournaments do. So the one who loses this series will play against Super. And to be honest, that very well may be a PvP. aLive's TvP is not looking too bad lately. But Patience has been consistently... I want to go back a little bit further than what I was going to say here, actually. When Patience first stepped into the beta, I remember he literally said he had no idea what he was doing. He just made adepts and won and went, oops. He literally said oops to me on one of his first victories of when we cast him. And I thought it was hilarious and cute. And it's just like, that's so Patience, right? But since then, he's refined himself up quite a bit. He is a very good Protoss player now. And... I favor aLive slightly, but only slightly.
I'm not really sure who I favor. Seen more of aLive than Patience lately, so.
Yeah, well, I guess that's another part of it, right? Like aLive's doing poor enough in the other Korean leagues that he's able to play on our stuff. Whereas Patience is doing well and thus unable to.
Well, what a way to put it. I don't know where he went to. There he is.
All right,
let's
go. So again, the King's Young Station intro is for whatever reason corrupt, which kind of sucks, and I don't know if I have another version of it saved anywhere. But we'll just hop into the game screen for now.
Okay. Well, I made a second cup of coffee, so if I get wired.
Oh,
You know why?
coffee. I see. Going well. I enjoy zombie on coffee, so I will approve. You get the thumbs up.
Yeah. I don't know what it was. Yesterday I was like, maybe I should go to the store and get like a blueberry Red Bull because those are fucking delicious. And like to reward myself for getting up at a decent time.
Oh.
With a Red Bull. But no.
I'm actually, I mistakenly grabbed a not sugar-free Red Bull. This is the first not sugar-free Red Bull I've had in like a year almost. Feels.
Do you just like the sugar-free?
Not really.
More?
I don't particularly like the taste of any energy drinks.
Yeah.
So because they're all equally bad, it's like whatever. And the difference between, I guess, the sugar-free and the sugar one is like 200 and something calories, right? So
what? No.
sugar-free Red Bull is like 5 calories. A regular Red Bull is like 150 to 200, depending on the size of the can.
No, like the big like Red Bull that I get is only 160.
I'm looking at this right now. It says 220 on it.
What? Regular Red Bull?
This
how
is just
how big are they in Canada?
Well, I'd tell you in milliliters, but you wouldn't know what I'm talking about, would you?
You could tell me anything and I understand. Like
473 milliliters is what it says.
Damn. I was pleasantly surprised and I was like, oh man, this Red Bull is gonna be so many calories. But it's a tiny one, it's 110. And when it's the big one, it's only 160. So I was like, oh, that's not so bad. I can do that.
Still much more than the
it's
5.
Like maybe it's a Canada thing, all right? Like Canada just injects your food and drinks with calories, just like your bread.
No, this just goes back to the point of me saying again, 5 for the sugar-free, and that's the only reason I choose it.
No, it's like your bread, man. Your bread is like 100 calories per slice for some reason. What's up with that?
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the TakeOver Season 2. Competing with Homestar Cup for the longest intros of all time. It is the bottom right, the pink Protoss, Patience.
I remember when we basically didn't do intros because we were talking about something. In the top left, as the Red Saren, he is aLive.
And of course, this is still the preliminary match of the Korean round of 16 group. You will, of course, see winners, losers, and a finals. But not in that order, because we do losers, winners, then finals. Big thank you to TING for making this possible. And again, a reminder to check out bttv.ting.com. And you know what? I'm going to ask one more favor. If you guys are watching this on YouTube, if you're watching the VOD of this, and you happen to use TING, leave a comment. Let us know your honest opinion and feedback, because we've only seen good things from the people who use it. I've used it for the 2 weeks I was in Austin. Really enjoyed their service. So I'm curious how many other people do. I know on Twitch we have a huge amount of people who use TING and have said only good things. I'm curious to see what our YouTube audience has to say.
Okay. Comment down below.
Yeah.
Hey,
like, comment,
guys.
subscribe.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the okay, it's not a one base, never mind. Live going for 1-1-1 behind. Oh, maybe not. No, I spoke too soon. Barracks coming down. Not a starports. Might be. All right, so middle of the road, fast-ish tech, a little bit of bio army to work with, where Patience is just doing what Protoss does.
Yeah, I believe I
And
actually
then,
saw, was it you Thermal try this yesterday?
um, versus Zerg.
Yeah, I guess versus Zerg. I was just gonna say though, the idea of taking this
Maybe-
extra barracks early, and what I like about it is it gives you a lot of extra production early on. So whether it's Zerg, whether it's Protoss, the idea is you're gonna have those extra couple of Marines out, which could make the world of difference if you're going for a big push on this back door, as King Sejong does allow.
Yeah. I mean, I don't doubt that you did it versus Protoss too, because it seems to be a pretty
Well, I mean,
standard build now.
I was
but-
thinking more versus Mana, but
yeah, I don't remember.
because
If this was the exact build, it is.
oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Because I was gonna say the only other version he did that I liked was the bunker pushes, of course.
Yeah,
Those-
yeah,
that was 50-50, literally.
yeah, it was win one lose one. Well, it is tank's coming out here, and he might push that back entrance, exit, whatever you want to
Tom
call
Hanks.
it. Tanks. Good. But the breeze already going down. I mean, it really has come to this point where I think all races, you know, Terran, Protoss, Zerg, have realized that those back rocks are a liability, and I think the only time you regret taking them down is sometimes, is versus Zerg. Yeah, that makes sense. So you just don't versus Zerg, but versus Terran, I don't think there's really any regrets taking these down.
Well, I like the Cyclone, actually. We're seeing quite a bit of this added on. We got the SCVs pulled, so there are going to be bunkers with this. Maybe you got aLive's taking notes from the foreigners, man. Or maybe you throw them out at secret meetings with aLive. I don't know. But either way, bunkers are going to really help this position. And the rocks don't quite go down in time, unfortunately.
Oh. That is unfortunate. This is especially, I think, frustrating for Protoss because they do usually need that fourth gas or third gas. In this case, Patience is that is his third gas. He can just take the other one and maybe not be so, worse off if he really only needs 3.
This is clever, because the idea is that you're investing so much on the other side of the map, you're likely not going to have defense, and the Observer confirms this. So while there may or may not be a wall down, can the Liberator and the Cyclone stop this massive amount of stalkers?
If it was set up, it could. Blink's almost done, but there you go.
The Cyclone's going to be really nice. I like that he puts this in a way, too, that the stalkers want to walk in and going to go through this. Even with Blink finishing up here in a moment, there's a lot of Marines are going to be blinking into. I say not a dangerous amount, of course, but they're not going to be able to kite away. And the Cyclone seriously needs to get some sort of action while it can.
It's unfortunate that
Oh, this is
aLive,
supply blocking him. He's got him deepest back here.
He assumed that the blink was already done because there's so many stalkers. Why else would we be pushing forward? Had he known, the Liberator could have sieged up past the supply depots a little bit and probably stopped that from happening.
The Marines have no problem helping tear through that barrier on the Immortal.
Yeah. Patience did take a third base, and he could take his gas there too, because he does need at least one more gas. But this is some good damage by aLive. It is finally going to get cleaned up.
He's going to get everything here. This is not good.
Yeah. The medevac really didn't have to die, and in that sense, I guess the tank didn't have to die either if he had reacted a little bit quicker. But
look at the resources lost with it. This is 100% intended to be the other way around. You were supposed to, as the Terran player, chip away at probes and slowly get kills for free, but unfortunately, it ends up being aLive who really paid the price for this. And regardless of the fact, this is great that Patience did take a third. He transferred the probes every long distance mine. It wasn't so bad for him in that regard. But, maybe dedicating too much with the Stalkers, gets the Cyclone, blinks away.
I don't think that aLive is in a terrible position. Down 14 workers is a little disappointing, because his third is not done. Even more so, but Stim and medevacs, man, I believe, as soon as he can get there, I suppose. Doesn't start medevacs quite yet. He's just building out of his production right now, and he's getting his production up as well, but I mean, I thought aLive's in a good position. I do think that he wanted to do more, stay longer with that push, or at least save some of the push. But he's going to try and work with what he has. Oh, he already has 2 medevacs. My bad. Well, still not a big bio army. And, okay, Stim just finished, but still waiting on combat shields with +1. Patience hasn't started his own upgrades either, though. So I guess it's not so bad. What is it? Oh, it's a Liberator. Okay. That makes a bit more sense.
Patience, you must be so bad at this game you can't even control your workers correctly.
That's about it. I was gonna
say. Shame on
but
you, zombie girl.
My bad.
Okay, the harassment miner gets three probes. I mean, aLive really trying to make up for the fact that this initial attack fell flat. Maybe had this push come with the Liberator, it would have been not bad catching the Stalkers. He does have Stim after all, but the Immortals and the Adepts were off in nowhere land. Unfortunately, I don't think you'll find that opportunity again. The armies are still split, so maybe never mind. But why are they split? What's Patience hoping to do with this? Catch a medevac? Maybe this is not going to be good walking the Marauders like this. Oh no, not like this.
Not like this. His other army does meet Patience's army. I was gonna say this army could take, you know, that small force on, no problem. It was the Bling Stalkers that are always going to be a little bit susceptible to bio with medevacs for obvious reasons that have existed since Wings of Liberty. So
I mean, I like the Stalkers roaming around only in terms of trying to catch medevacs. I don't like them overextending and getting too far in because that's when you do lose them for nothing. And let's not forget, had that been with this army, he could have picked off those 2 medevacs and this wouldn't have escaped. But whatever. Consolidating these forces, now aLive's getting ready to push. He's got +1, but Patience still has. I don't understand his army. I don't understand his army movements. This is like some Riders of Rohan getting ready to ride in and save the day type thing. But like, why?
I agree with the right side. This doesn't make any sense to have that army outside that far. The Bling Stalkers should always be roaming the map. That's not the problem. But everything else is going a little too far to try and maybe catch a couple of units.
That one Immortal Exposed has his barrier popped a little, unfortunately. Force Fields aren't too bad on this. He can pick up a medevac if he really wants to, but he's going to take the fight instead, and the Immortals get shreked. Meanwhile, the Stalkers take a long time to even get into the fight. They blink away the second they join in, and Patience has nothing to fight with.
If he had gone for the Stalkers, like chase after them, the Force Fields would have worked against Patience for, you know, 5 seconds there.
You know why he's got nothing to work with? Yeah.
25 SCVs went down. aLive just entirely dedicated to his push.
I was wondering, like, why does he not have... He's got 20 supply up. How does he not have an army? I didn't realize he was all in a huge warp in on the other side of the map. So this army gets shreked by the pylon. It's going to take it, and it's all ogre.
Pick up his units.
It's all ogre.
It definitely is over. That looks like a decent opportunity for aLive until he realized those SCVs were dead.
40 freaking kills. You know what I love, by the way? As bad as I was at catching that, observing, it also means aLive also didn't see it going on either. So I'm saying, oh, if I'm as bad as aLive, I'll take that as a compliment.
Maybe. He might have seen it, but honestly, but there's a point where you're just going to be like, if I focus on 2 areas, I'll lose out on both. So I'll just, you know, let my SCVs die and hope this all-in works. And I don't know if that's what happened, but it happens.
I mean, the other part of it too is if he was actually able to do more damage with his frontal push, it may have been better off than trying to stop the attack. But unfortunately, with the 3rd base being so much shut down, I mean,
he just muled and DTs. No. I don't know where the DTs are, but they warped in. So whether it's at defending or back at home, they're still not going to get scanned.
Where are the DTs?
I have no idea. Oh, well, that's useless. Never mind. Whatever. You know what?
Smoking weed outside the Nexus. Alright. Patience will take the first game off of aLive.
Yeah. Fairly convincingly.
I will say, though, that I really liked the way he responded to that initial attack, coming in the back rocks and all that. Not just because, okay, it's oh so typical Terran, but usually there's a lot of focus on stopping that instead of counter-attacking. And I loved the idea that he's like, you know what? I can get way more done over here. And he totally caught aLive off guard. I mean, there's like, what, 7 depots went down? He straight up got supply blocks off of it.
That was the start, you know, like that Liberator should have just been sieged. That Cyclone should have gotten a couple of Stalkers.
Yeah.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Well, game 1 goes to Patience, so we hop into Dusk Towers for game 2. I'm going to try and load up the intro for this one. Boom. Nailed it. And we'll hop right into the action. So guys, stick around. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you with game 2 as we hop into Dusk Towers. You know, I'm just going to say it. I'm not, like, chat's not tilting me today. We're nowhere close to putting it in sub-only mode. I really did enjoy the cast in sub-only mode yesterday, though. I'm just going to say.
There's a reason Day9 does this. Oh.
Well, Day9 also has, like, 3 times the subs we have, if not more. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we're hopping into game number 2. Spawning here in the top right side. He is down 1 game. It's going to be aLive.
The bottom left as the pink Protoss. He's Patience.
Okay, so aLive made some very decisive moves that last game that may have very well been predicted from Patience from the get-go. I don't know. Dusk Towers, you don't really have the same opportunity to dedicate to a tank drop or tank excuse me, bunker attack or whatever you want to refer to it as. So if aLive's playing a little bit more standard and a little bit more, just macro and bio and then start dropping, that might actually be a better game for him than what he tried to pull off. I'm not at all saying Patience can't win against aLive in a normal situation, but he definitely won a lot because aLive made mistakes and predictable moves.
I agree. I think aLive definitely made a lot of mistakes. I believed in his, control on his bio, and to a point, it looked like it might actually work until 40 SCVs died, so I wasn't wrong in believing in him. His armor supply looked good, and he was really pressuring, and Patience was also making some very odd choices. He didn't just get punished for it, like those Immortal Adept something out. But anyway, a more like standard game might fit aLive better, but it's not going to be completely standard. He is this game going for a one base build, and Patience will see this.
It's important that he sees this too, because we very specifically saw weakness in Patience versus one base Terrans. A lot of that had to do with qualifiers his past results. So it's not like he can't beat a one base build, but he was caught off guard by them a lot.
Yeah, and they were scouted. That wasn't the surprise factor that was killing Patience. It was really just responding to two places at once was limited amount of units. Now, he eventually figured out that a Stargate opener did pretty well against most of it. Like a Void Ray would help out quite a bit, but there are a few builds that the Stargate opener is not very good at. Okay, so that's how he's going to defend again here. And that includes, Ghost Rushes, first of all. Not that aLive is going to do that. But also Cyclone openers, which I didn't expect aLive to do, but that's what he's doing.
So this is actually kind of a big deal, though, because if you recall, again, Reality and some of the others were using these one-base Cyclone builds, and that was when Cyclones were still kind of broken, and not in terms of like, oh, that unit's so good, it's broken, like an Adept, but in terms of it actually being broken. The cooldown on its lock-on didn't work properly. Now it does, 4 seconds as intended, so the Cyclone becomes even more powerful.
This was more of a, beginning Legacy of the Void build, though. I mean, hell, even beginning of Heart of the Swarm, where you go for the barracks in a factory and then command center, because you can get a Widow Mine in time for the Oracle. Back in the day, that was the scariest thing ever. Legacy of the Void, you get the early Cyclone for, any type of early game defense, whether it's like the Mothership Core Rush or what have you. But it is more of an offensive build, I think, than offensive. If this had like 3 barracks with a production behind it, I'd be like, oh, this could be a cool looking build. Really aggressive, but it is just the Cyclone. And that's a little bit odd. I wonder why aLive chose this build over any other.
I guess, regardless of the actual build, I mean, it's because, again, the emphasis on the extra barracks and the thing, I just really like the Cyclone for a lot of different reasons, and one of them being what he tried to do and just try and catch a free stalker or a Mothership Core out of position or anything. This is a nuisance. He knows he can't kill it. He just does it to be annoying.
Yeah, right? Thanks to KaiMag12 for the 6 months. Resub. Cool name.
Yeah. Mr. Boris Macro bring up a fun fact. I love this. If anyone actually watches Geek and Sundry, the guy who does their D&D stuff, the popular one, because there's like 2 of them, I think, he's the guy who does the McCree voice for Overwatch. And yeah, there's like an article about how he'll just go over voice comms and just say it's high noon, like in his McCree voice.
Yeah, I watched that little 30-second clip or whatever.
Matt Mercer, I think his name is. I spent a bit of Overwatch before the stream today, actually, to wake up. Worked out nicely.
Really? That is too early.
I ranked up to 63, then I deranked to 62. Good times, man.
Sounds about right.
Alright, Cyclone finally gets cleaned up. This was, it's actually, I guess we talked a lot about aLive's opening, but to see Phoenix like this is really odd. You talked about this being back to like the Legacy of the Void openings, where like, okay, when Cyclones really broken, Phoenixes were the only thing you could do to stop them with their lift up and all that goodness. But I guess if he thought this was going to be more, I like the Phoenix move. But the fact that this is a regular bio build, I'm not such a big fan of these Phoenix.
I feel like Patience was expecting a 1-1-1, as was I. And then when the Cyclone came in and nothing else, he was like, oh, well, I got the Stargate, so let's go for a Stargate build. Because these really aren't as common as they were at one point or another, where Phoenixes were an okay opener versus Terran, and then maybe even going to Phoenix Colossus, because that was a cool thing to do once upon a time.
You know, though,
But now not so much.
just thinking on this, if this might actually have been as a result of the opening, more so of what he expected with the bio, because when it comes to aLive, he is really good at drops. Like, he's one of those players like Major and others that we've been watching who will drop in like 3 places at the same time, and you're like, how can you possibly have this many units?
Yeah.
And if the Phoenix were built strictly to police the drops, then I actually really like this.
I kind of brought that up in yesterday's cast with the Mana versus Euthermal games. You know, we saw Mana open up with a Phoenix build, and he was definitely doing it as a not like a, oh, maybe I just have a Stargate because I expected a one-base build, like maybe Patience is doing, I don't know. But definitely he wanted to go for Phoenix, and I was like, okay, because Euthermal is so good at dropping, that makes sense. Unfortunately, it failed, he did like a bunker push, but maybe this is just something that a little bit new that Protoss are trying to deal with the drops with Phoenix. And if that's the case, then hopefully it works out. Hopefully it doesn't take too much from your ground army. I think that's the one problem you got to worry about.
Pesky Adept.
Yeah, so pesky. Seriously, I mean,
But
as you look at this big
did.
bio push, this is kind of a scary army.
Overcharges can make up the difference of what he's missing through this Phoenix, but only if aLive chooses to fight within them. He can back, he just back away.
Yeah, and he just burned 2 of them for
He
that.
can just Xbox 360 and walk away.
See, this is the move where I think the Phoenixes were great for, and I don't know why aLive did this.
Yeah, and the reinforcements coming are just going to get absolutely demolished as they walk up that ramp. This goes so well for Patience.
And that was very odd by aLive. I mean, besides getting his medevac shipped away, even for like the 1 second before all of his
Look at
army
this. Oh,
dropped,
I didn't realize there's no Marines left, so he just grabs like the 3.
That was terrible.
Oh, God. You know, last time resources lost looked bad. Look at them now. Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
And that 3rd CC still not finished. I guess they got stalled out for so long, and it might just not even finish here either. Adepts, please!
Well, it might not finish because Patience is going across the map to counter, and he definitely should.
Well, I
he
mean,
now has the
no,
army
it's-
supply.
It finishes. What a stupid thing to say. Of course it's going to finish something good. Come on. Jesus.
Well, it's not going to be able to mine that much.
There you go. It's not going to be able to
Patience.
yours that much.
End the game. End him.
Actually, what's funny is I think the Mistletoe is actually a great addition, but you're right. Like, he should be able to just move in here. The amount of adepts, just sheer numbers on his side. But there's been so many games we've watched, I'm sure so many games where Patience has played, where he looks like he's in a position like this. He ends up transferring top of 2 Widow Mines and ends up throwing a game for it. So playing a little bit more safe, waiting for a couple of extra reinforcements, is not such a bad idea.
Sure. The adepts can scout what's going on. They won't be able to see how many Widow Mines
Oh,
there
these Widow
are,
Mines,
but
though.
he caught them burrowing. He's still gonna go for it.
Okay, yeah, I mean, numbers game on his side. He's certainly up in supply. Takes out the Medivacs, lifts up Marines, takes out that Widow Mine. The precision out of Patience in this attack was great. And that is going to be a GG.
Well, then.
Well, then, indeed. That's a 2-0 for Patience as he does lead now this series. We'll see if he can finish this off in Game 3 or not. We will go to a small commercial break beforehand, guys, so just 2 minutes. Don't go anywhere. If you're bored while you're waiting, go to bttv.ting.com and check out our sponsors, and we'll see you soon. All right, folks, welcome back. Thanks for watching that short break for us. We are getting directly into Frost for game number 3. If you're just joining us on the cast, it is a 2-0 lead for our Protoss friend Patience over here. I'll see if he can maybe close it out in this game.
We'll see. He's looking pretty good, I gotta say. Those weren't like the close games of the last series. That was just...
Yeah, actually,
that
that's
was
a little bit... Because you have Super and Rogue who played. And while it was a 3-0 over there, that was a very close 3-0, I would say, as funny as that is to consider. Whereas this has been very much like, Patience is just really good.
I don't even know if I want to say that. aLive, it's Patience being really good, sure, but also aLive looking very shaky. I mean, he's usually a fairly consistent Terran, but he is making some straight up questionable mistakes.
We've also talked a lot more recently, too, about Terrans, even the best Terrans having trouble with this matchup, with this particular race. So I'm not going to write aLive off for being terrible or anything like that, but it is something where you can maybe take some balance slightly into consideration. I don't know, aLive fans out there. But we are getting into game number 3. Spawning on the top left side, it is going to be the red Terran player, aLive.
In the bottom right, as the blue Protoss, he's Patience.
Actually, thinking further, I really hope it's not something where he is having trouble with this matchup in particular, like where TvP is his weakness, because he does have to go play Super afterwards if he loses.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. With that in mind, I'm not feeling so hot for a Terran in this group.
No. And at this rate, we're going to have a lot of no Terrans in that round of 8.
It feels bad.
But what's interesting about that fact, you've got Beyond, who is most likely going to get out of the wildcard group. So we'll have at least Beyond we can kind of count on. But I'm thinking on, if we are forced to have a bunch of Zergs and then people like Neeb, that might not be so bad to see the new star rise even further.
I wouldn't be that upset, to be honest. I mean, it sucks not to have a well-rounded, I guess, round of 8 or whatever, but
hey, as
long as it isn't all Zerg.
Right, as long as we don't have 7 Zerg and like 1 Protoss qualify through or something.
Then I'm fine.
But, I mean, the other groups still have really strong candidates, too. Let's not forget the North American group has got Masa. Got pretty far last season. Will probably do well again this season.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, the North American group in total is Masa, Hydra, Kelazur, and Neeb. So, Protoss and Terran. Hydra was actually not... For those who missed it, Hydra played the second place finals. He didn't even qualify easily through his group to get to the round of 16.
Yeah.
And Kelazur and Hydra have been playing a lot of best ofs more recently too, so that might even be, if that ends up being a matchup that gets me at that. But anyways, let's talk about the future and not about what's going on here today.
Right. What is going on here is Patience going for a Twilight Council opener. I mentioned that Stargate opener last game. It could have been a reaction to the one base he thought he scouted, because it was one base, like, it's like... one base to a point. It wasn't even that fully committed to a one base. But anyway.
Like asterisk.
Yeah, kind of. But it's not like a bad opener, and it's something that we've been seeing more and more from even with foreigners, like Phoenix openers, especially deal with those drops. Worked out beautifully, mostly because I would say aLive made a mistake. Not to say that he was going to get crushed if aLive hadn't done that Doom drop that failed, but maybe picks off more units. aLive just lost his Reaper.
Yeah, the inconsistency of that jump up and jump down, and jump up and jump down, I guess. The overcharge was too spooky for him, but that Reaper going down, I'm not sure if this was intended out of Patience from the get-go. He may just be capitalizing on the situation because he says, you know what, I bet like this opening the Robo and the Twilight Council, that could have been Adepts, that could have been Resonating Glaives, but the Reaper getting shut down so early says, you know what, I have the option to throw down this Dark Shrine now, and it's not going to get scouted.
Might be, honestly. Like, the Twilight Council was so early that I would maybe think Dark Shrine the entire time, but it could have just been an early Resonating Glaives into a lot of gateways and, you know, that Robo War Prism. Either way, a War Prism is going to be in play.
Actually, that's kind of interesting to consider. The opening playing out like that could have also been like, okay, Dark Shrine gets scouted, boom, you just go the other direction that we had described. But it's Blink, funny enough, beyond all of this. Frost is a good map for Blink. I'm not going to pretend like it isn't. But it's not the option I would see available through what he's going for right now.
Oh, man, if only he did a proxy Stargate first. I love seeing dirty cheese or dirty cheese or dirty cheese, you know?
Proxy Stargate into the Dark Shrine follow-up, yeah.
Yeah, into Blink Stalker all in. That sounds like the best build ever.
That's what did I say yesterday? The bad things come in threes.
Oh, bad things come in threes.
Adepts, Warp Prisms, and DTs. So
your rhyme. Oh, yeah.
Blink Stalkers, Warp Prisms, and DTs, I guess would be the adaptation.
I always like joke about that, but there was legitimately I remember it was on Dead Wing.
Oh, did he just see that Warp Prism with the Medvac? I don't actually know if he noticed that or not, but regardless of that, Patience might have to reveal his DTs a little bit earlier than perhaps wanting to.
Oh no!
What the fuck is going on, man? I'm like having an anxiety attack watching these Widow Mines.
Okay, he's gonna get one Stalker.
Holy shit!
That's better than 2 Stalkers or all of his probes.
Oh well, okay. That's not so good. However,
he deals with it all, and that is pretty bad for aLive. aLive looked like he was gonna get something done, and now he's just gonna get hit by a DT. He does have a skin, and it's only 1 DT.
But there's nothing to kill it. That's the like. Okay, cool. You see it now. What?
Oh, that's a good point. Oh, and he did just mule, so never mind. It's not a scam.
The turret needs to finish. If Patience were to focus it.
I mean, either way, he's getting a lot of DT damage. Yeah. The Marines, I think, were cleaned up on the other side of the map, by the way, so he really has nothing to bring back.
There's a bunker in the Natural, so
No.
Patience won't get over there,
He's
but
not even pulling his OCVs. He's
it's too far gone. I mean, 17 workers
shit.
killed is a pretty big deal when there's no third CC.
You know, I don't know if you've noticed that I always use the infested emote on StarCraft 2, because to me that emote means you're going like "Rrrr," like a little bit
What the
questionable.
fuck?
That's exactly my reaction to what has happened to aLive. Just going like "Rrrr."
You sound like a Murloc with a speech impediment.
That makes sense.
Like you're trying to go Murloc, but instead you're like Murloc.
I gotta go to
It's-
Murloc
it's-
speech therapy.
It's the sim. If we were Murlocs and the Sims were like that, you'd be speaking Murloc Simlish.
But seriously, it's just like this questionable bafflement of sounds to express my
Actually, I've always
not
thought the infested.
frustration, but confusion.
The infested icon in game looks like a Tangela or whatever that Pokemon.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, kind of. It just
Oh,
it
did he
looks
snipe
so
off? He sniped off the
comical.
turret. I didn't even realize he had specifically, with precision, sniped off the turret that was built down here. So, DT, just kind of having a good time. It's gonna get picked up in a
This
second.
game
but this
is over, but
this series, I'm honestly,
Huh.
I'm gonna just say a little bit almost disappointed. Like I don't even know if that's the right word to say, because I expected aLive to be a real force to be reckoned with.
I'll go get her. And he just got dead.
Go got him. GG. Patience. Take a 3-0. Move on to the winners match where he'll fight against Rogue. That'll be fun to watch. But we are going to play the losers match first. So we're going to have aLive play versus Super coming up next. 2 quick starts to the tournament today. In fact, this is like 2 series in an hour and a half. That's way fast. Actually, but okay, let's see if this next series gives us a little bit more. aLive versus Super might be that same TvP problem. Hopefully it's not, because we really do like aLive, and I would love to see him get a little bit further because of, you know, that Terran bias. But a word from our sponsors beforehand. We talked about TING. One of the points, one of the things to drive home to advertise for them is that they don't lock you into a plan. And I think this is what makes TING really intriguing and appealing to someone like me who is locked into a plan he doesn't like. You really, if you're between phones, if you're looking for a new carrier, you can use TING in between really easily as well. And whether it's a month, a year, guys, by signing up with TING, you help put towards that 40 number count to get another season of the TING Open. I would love to have TING Open Season 3. $5,000 more from TING, all that goodness. But we are going to go to a commercial break, and we'll see you guys in 2 minutes. Thanks for watching these ads from our sponsors.